What is up, YouTube? Here we are at the end of week number 5 on that cut. That's right, we're 35 plus days into this cut already, and things are moving pretty well overall. This week, I did have a couple of little speed bumps as far as my consistency with my working out, my diet, stuff like that goes. Uh, Actually, this week I've been back kind of on track with my workouts more consistently. Started about halfway through the week, got more consistent with that. So not really missing any workouts anymore like I was last week. But I'd had probably a couple extra slip ups on my diet this week, just where I was indulging in the cravings that I would have, mostly late at night, bowls of ice cream. We were at a family's house a couple different days this week, so I was eating dinner with them where it was kind of difficult to track it because I didn't cook the food. I didn't really know what all was in it. I tried to be kind of mindful about how much of it that I did eat, so I wasn't going too terribly overboard, but then I ended up indulging in my cravings later at night, so that didn't help. So the scale was kind of up and down. Like we talked about last week, though, I'm not paying too terribly much attention to the scale. I am using it daily. Every morning I weigh in so that I can kind of get that average throughout the week, just like all my other numbers that I do track. So my calories, my protein intake, my steps, and my weight. A couple other things that are worth tracking that I'm not really tracking right now is my water intake and my hours slept each night. Really, the only reason I'm not tracking my hours slept is because my watch that tracks my sleep doesn't have an excellent battery life. So I prioritize my steps because I already know that I sleep pretty well overall. I don't really struggle much with that. So it's more important that I focus on my steps than my sleep. If you're someone that struggles with sleep, I would recommend you focusing more on that. It is going to play a huge role in your recovery and just in how your body reacts to everything, to stressors and all that. But yeah, overall, everything's real good. Been hitting the gym, hitting it hard. I did start drinking pre-workout again this week. So that has been helping me get into the gym out here regularly every day. There's been a couple days where I was not feeling motivated to do so. We all know how motivation is. You need the discipline, but still, it helps to feel like you want to do it, to be excited to do it, to be motivated. It's real nice. So drink some pre-workout and that gets me up and moving, and then I have a really good workout. So I've been super happy with that. Outside of those few days going overboard, diet's been pretty on point. I did some meal prep a couple days ago. So my meals for this week is looking like about 1,960 calories each day with like 230 grams of protein, something like that. What are we having? So I'm making 4 meals a day. I'm just going to have a turkey and cheese sandwich first thing during the day. Next meal is a double cheeseburger. Then third meal is some chicken, broccoli, and potatoes. And the final meal it's just something I kind of threw together. It's kind of like a cheese ball with cream cheese, Worcestershire sauce, and shredded cheese, things like that. But I also shredded up some chicken and threw in there as well. Seasoned it up real good, and I made kind of tacos out of them. I put them on low carb tortillas. So it's kind of like a little cream cheese chicken taco, weird thing. It tastes pretty good though. So been eating that for 2 days now. Got the rest of the week to go on it. It's been great. Had a chance last week. Actually, it was 2 weeks ago now. Had a chance to help out an extended family member with recommending some steps to move forward with her diet and exercise, things like that. She was trying to lose some weight on her own. She was feeling kind of discouraged. So I talked to her a bit, just gave her a couple recommendations. And that next week, she dropped 5 pounds. She was sitting at like 7 pounds total lost in 4 months. And that next week, she lost, I think, 5 pounds. It was something like that, 6 or 7 before. And then she lost 5 pounds the following week. So she was super excited about that, just making some small changes. Like I always talk about, just those small, simple improvements, the things you can do consistently for a long period of time. Things like tracking what you eat, trying to eat in a calorie deficit, getting your steps in, setting a step goal, hitting that number every day, drinking plenty of water. If you're not actually tracking calories, something else you can do, which I recommended to her, is to prioritize her, because she was having trouble step back here. She was having trouble with not knowing how to really prep her food to eat well, in a diet, to eat in a calorie deficit type of thing without tracking. She didn't really know how to pair foods together. So I told her, I was like, just start with the protein. Prioritize your protein. Pick that first. Have a nice large serving of that. Then move on to some fruits or veggies, and then your carb source, rice, potatoes, whatever it might be. If you stick to that, you load up on your protein and your veggies or fruits first, you're not going to have a ton of room on carbs. Carbs are usually where it's just easier to overeat. I'm not against carbs whatsoever. I love carbs. I eat them all the time, but it's a lot easier to overeat and they don't keep you as full as long. So that's just my 2 cents, how I like to go about it. And it helped her. It worked for her. She lost 5 pounds that week. She's doing great. But what do we got going on? Not much going on this week. So doing good on the diet, doing good on my workouts. I will say, since the weight is coming down, and this is where I have struggled every time I've tried cutting in the past, because I can't really decide exactly where I want to be. If you've never heard of it, there's this thing, shout out to Jason Phillips with NCI. I learned it from him, the triangle of awareness. And what this is, if you look at a triangle, it's got the 3 points. And when it comes to fitness, health, nutrition, all that, there's usually about just 3. Any goals will fall under 3 categories. You've got longevity, which is just living as long as possible, being as healthy as possible. Aesthetic, which is just looking as good as possible. And performance, which is going to be whatever you're doing, whether it's CrossFit, lifting heavy, basketball, a certain sport, how well you perform. And to get to each one of those points will take an extreme, but you can only focus on that thing. So if I show you that triangle and tell you to plot where you want to be, and you put it on aesthetic all the way in the corner, you want to look good, I know that you're willing to feel like crap and sacrifice anything good in life. You're going to sleep like crap. You're not going to enjoy any of the food you're eating. We're putting you in a huge calorie deficit, cutting out tons of stuff, just to get you as lean as possible. And people will be like, oh, well, no, I don't want to feel like crap. So then we reassess. Anyway, for me, where I struggle is that I know that I can have everything. I just can't have everything all at once. But as soon as I start seeing my strength slip, every time I cut, every time my lifts start going down, for example, bench, I finally hit 305 a while back. I was on my way. I want to hit 315 one day, at least for one rep. I would love to rep out 315, but I'm shooting for that one rep max of 315 right now. But I started this cut and I hit 305 and I was repping 225 for sets of 12. I'd do 2 or 3 sets of 12 at 225. Now I am failing closer to the 7 or 8 rep range on 225. So, that my strength, my capacity for hitting reps on 225 is decreased by 4 out of that 12. I went from 12 down to about 8. So there's that strength loss there. Just some lifts though, accessory lifts, things like dips, because my weight's going down, I'm able to do more dips. So I do love seeing that. So I struggle there. As soon as my lifts start going, I'm like, ooh, I should eat more so I can stay strong. So I'm trying not to dwell on it. The goal right now is aesthetic. I'm trying to cut down. I have a goal in mind, a couple goals. I've talked about them. So right now, shooting for 200 again. So once I get there, then I'll reassess and decide what I want to do from there. Because I don't think 200 is where I'm going to want to be. I think I'm going to want to be lower than that. My guess is somewhere between like 180, 190. So that's probably where I'll shoot for. But right now, the goal is to get to 200. Still got a little ways to go, but we are making progress. Every week, we're making a little more progress. We're moving along. Even with the few days, I think I slipped up 3 days this week. Now, it was nothing astronomical. One day was pretty astronomical. Let me throw some numbers out there for this one day. Normally, I eat 1,800 to 2,000 calories. 1,800 to 2,000 calories per day. and I try to stick somewhere around 200 grams of protein within that. This day, I didn't weigh everything out exactly, but I went back in and went to my best guess, tried to enter how much I ate, and I was able to be pretty accurate because a lot of the stuff I ate was out of a package. It was like 6,300 calories. Mind you, I only had a 250 calorie sandwich throughout the day. And then in the evening, I had a couple very large burgers that I made for myself with lots of good stuff on them. And then had a bunch of snacks that night. And yeah, I went from 250 just overnight that night with my cravings up to 6,300 calories. And so with that is a big, big difference. That's way overeating that day. And yet I'm still lower this week. My weight is still lower than it has been than last week and the week before that. So we're still progressing, even with that huge slip up and 2 other days where I slipped up and ate a little more than I should. We're still moving forward. So those binges, just one here and there, it's not going to destroy your progress. Don't beat yourself up for it too bad. I was kind of beating myself up for it. It's a really hard space to be at mentally when you're working on your goals and you have a slip up like that, a setback as it feels like. My wife's actually the one who talked me out of that one because I was going to fast the next day, just not eat all day. I was going to starve myself the way I see it. There's a time and place for fasting. For fat loss, definitely not it. It creates such a negative mindset. So I was going to starve myself the next day. And she's like, if you're working with someone, would you recommend them to do that? I was like, absolutely not. I would never tell anyone to do this. She's like, well, then you shouldn't do it. But, we don't always take our own advice. I did, though. I ended up eating the next day and we're good to go. We're still good. I didn't end up starving myself. I've been eating my normal amount since then. And we're still at a lower weight than we were last week. So yeah, just do your best for a long, consistent period of time. If you slip up, so be it. Don't even wait till tomorrow. If you just finished a binge and you're feeling like crap, okay, right here, right now, I'm back on track. Don't starve yourself the rest of the day if it happens first thing in the morning. Eat your normal scheduled meals the rest of the day and you're back on track. Don't wait till tomorrow because you know what's going to happen if you wait till tomorrow? You're going to be like, well, today's shot. I'm just going to eat more. And then next thing you know, it's going to be a 10,000 calorie day. Speaking of a 10,000 calorie day, as easily as that 6,300 calories went down that night for me, off topic here totally, not completely, but a little bit. I don't think for me, you see people do these 10,000 calorie challenges, 20,000 calorie challenges to eat that many calories in a day, and they just eat junk food. Some people have grown huge channels on here doing that. As far as 10,000 calories go, as easy as that 6,300 went down, I don't think 10,000 would be a struggle for me. That would be so easy. 20,000 might be a bit of a struggle. I wouldn't mind doing it at some point in time just to see. I think it'd be fun, but I don't know. Not right now. Now's not the time for it because I'm on a cut. So yeah, that's really everything about this week. Overall, good. Some slip ups, learned some lessons, and we're gonna keep pushing forward. So here's to week number 6. And those of you that watch, thank you for your support. Hope you guys get something out of this as well. Maybe learn a lesson here or there. I know I am. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week for the week 6 update. Bye, everyone.